Hi everyone, thanks for watching Access Hockey MI, that is us.
Hi.
I'm Janae, this is Rachel, and we talk hockey and nothing but hockey, usually. So today is no different. We're going to talk about some of the Grand Rapids Griffins veterans that will be returning to the Grand Rapids Griffins in this coming season. So this isn't involving any sort of like free agency. We're going to split that up into a new video because we talk a lot and we talk for lengths of time, and we figure it's better for you following along.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, if you could like this video, subscribe to our channel, and maybe leave a comment below. Even right now, the first thing that comes into your head when you hear Sidney Crosby, boom, wow, put it down there. He's
Greatest of all time.
not you, the people watching.
That's not what I think. I was just mocking people. That's what I was doing in that moment.
So before we get into trouble, let's keep going. Like I said, we're going to talk about, I think it ends up being 6 guys that are returning to the Grand Rapids Griffins in this coming season, and let's get into it.
Yes. So these are all guys we have talked about previously.
Yeah.
When we mention them, just go on our channel, look up their names. You're going to see at least 3 or 4 videos about each of these guys. Maybe more.
Accurate.
It could be. We have gush fest about them all the time.
Well, because if you've known us for any length of time or followed us at all, we actually talk about, we love vets almost more than prospects.
Yeah.
Because
shame on you for saying
they get
such
a
things.
place in our heart, and we watch them game after game, and they're just diehards.
Yeah.
And usually they're just diehards, and it's just great to watch them.
Anyway. I think, I'll go into the list, but though, so we don't get too further off track.
Bunny
here.
trails.
So we've got Kyle Criscollo. He's technically not returning. He has 1 more season left of his contract, but he is a vet and a very important one, so we felt it important to note him. Taro Hirose, Brian Lashoff, who is our El Capitan. Chase Pearson was just recently re-signed. Dominic Shine and Tyler Spezia. All of these guys have been with our team for over 3 to 4 seasons. Lashoff's entering his 14th season.
And again,
with us.
if you are a regular watcher of ours, these are ringing bells in your head because we've, like she said, we've talked about them so many times, and that's just because they're so important. I think the Griffins, I don't know more than any NHL or AHL team, but they put a lot of stock in their veteran leadership. And with the loss of Turner Elson, we're kind of like salving our wounds by talking about
R.I.P. Turk.
about talking about the other vets that are on our roster so far. So, like Rachel said, Criscollo has a year left, so he was signed to a 2-year last season. So he's coming back, and this guy is a grit ball. Like
a very fast.
Like there's
grit
nothing
ball.
else you can say about him. He's going to do everything he can to win at any cost. And having a guy like that on your team, like just that passion and that just grit. There's no other word.
I would say for 90% of these guys, that's just something that's very.
Oh yeah.
It's across the board.
Except for Hirose. Hirose doesn't have like grit per se.
No.
He just kind of like finesses his way around you, and then it's like,
that,
oh, I lost the puck.
You know that meh emoji? I feel like Hirose's the meh emoji, but he's really good. Yeah, like he's got poker face all the time. Taro Hirose is a phenomenal player, so kind of following up on that, very offensive. Both Criscollo and Hirose are forwards, so they play together a lot, especially in the special team situations, which we need to bolster this season like crazy. We were terrible last season with that, and the season before.
We got better
before. Yeah,
but it was still bad.
Yeah, it was like
don't give us a power play because we're actually better 5 on 5.
Yeah, we need to be better 5 on 5.
We're better 5 on 5 than we are 5 on 4, which is kind of
weird.
I mean, it shouldn't be that way.
But Hirose, big shot taker. He's not gritty, but he is a get in there, and he's sneaky with the puck. He's very slick.
I would say he has a different kind of grit, whereas Criscollo is kind of like a. I don't know. He's tenacious, is how I would describe.
I don't think he
Criscollo.
breathes when he skates.
No, if anything, it's a.
It's really funny when he stops, and you're like, oh, he's in so much
Whereas
pain.
Hirose, he has the grit as far as, like, he wants to jump in that play, and he wants to score. And he wants to get a play going, and he wants to...
He's very good with puck, stealing pucks.
Yeah.
Like, he's very good with that.
Yeah, and he's not bad at board play either.
Yeah.
Along the lines of that would be Brian Lashoff, who is, as Rachel said, our captain, which is super great. 14 seasons with the Griffins, which is insane. So his whole pro career, except for that weird time during COVID where he was signed with Tampa for a little bit, and then...
You're not supposed to say that word.
I don't know. He's a defenseman, and he is just poise.
Yeah.
Like, he is just calm, cool, and collected. He's definitely the leader of the team, and you can see that just based on how he plays. What was that? He had broken his jaw or, like, teeth.
He took a puck to the face, and the teeth smashed back, and they had to push him back forward.
And I think he was back in a couple games.
1 game.
Like...
Yeah.
if that says anything. Basically,
he did get his teeth repaired correctly in the offseason, so he's good now.
So Lashoff he's another tenacious blue liner, honestly. And he doesn't give a lot of points to the Griffins, but his veteran leadership is what is important. And his character, too. He's just a stand-up guy. And it's just important to have guys like that in the locker room.
It's those not tangible things that you really only see by watching them season in and season out.
Yeah.
Chase Pearson was actually one that was recently re-signed. So he got extended an offer. He was one of the top prospects for some time. Kind of fizzled a little bit.
Yeah.
Struggled a little bit. We didn't see a whole lot of spark from him. So I'm interested to see. He's only signed for one more season. So he just accepted that offer not too long ago. So he's one, too. I wouldn't say is tenacious or fiery, but he's one that they want to take a little bit more risk on and see if they can push him a little harder. If not, I think this will be his last season in Grand Rapids.
I completely agree, and I think that I think he was almost trying, I don't know if that was intentional, almost trying to model after Dominik Shine, who's on our team for quite a while. He has the same type of play and way of skating when I watch them play.
How they do face-offs, too.
Yeah, and I would agree with you, too. I do think this would be his last year if he doesn't make a huge... There's so much in the pool of guys who are trying to vie that these guys, like the Chase Pearsons drafted in... I can't even remember what year. I feel like it was 2016. Yeah, I was thinking like 2016. He worked through his degree. It was kind of that cool story where he worked through his degree, had to get his degree while he was on the road for, playing in the AHL, so that's pretty cool. But at the same time, I just don't know if he's got that jump in him, to make NHL. Yeah. If he doesn't, I could see him being someone who'd go maybe to another AHL team.
This is a risk, with a two-way contract. This is a risk at all. Put it all out there season for him. So hopefully, he was on special teams a little bit too, and all of these guys.
And he's good on special teams.
Yeah, and these guys, they're all special team guys. And as veterans, that's someone you want to rely on. And have the example. Another one who we just gush about all the time is Dominic Shine. Yeah. This guy,
you guys are probably like, okay, when are they talking about Shiner?
Right. He is the epitome of just grit. He's tenacious. He's highly skilled. He's constantly producing 110% every night. There's never a night where I'm like, I didn't really notice Shine out there tonight.
No.
If you don't notice Shine, it's probably because he's not playing.
You're probably blind.
Is what the thing is. Or he's getting a cage put on because he broke his nose again. But he's the guy that he is, I would say, the enforcer as well. He's one of the guys that is going to go.
He's just not scared.
No.
He's not afraid of anything, and I think he's smart, too. He's not going to pick a fight with this big, burly guy who's
But if a big, burly guy hits him, he's going to fight.
Yeah, those guys that go on the ice and you're like, you're standing in one spot, you're clearly there just to punch someone in the face. He's the one that's probably going to be like,
you are a useless ogre.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on you, but, I'm not going to get my jaw broken and, get needless penalties. And I would say for Shiner, I think he's grown in that a lot more in the last couple of seasons where he's just smart with how he's physical as far as the fighting goes. There's so many times, and you have to protect your team, of course, but there's so many times where it's like, did we need a game misconduct at this point of the game?
Kind of worth it, but...
And I feel like Dominic Shine, he doesn't, as far as the last few seasons, he's just been really good at, honing that in and being, whatever, you play your game, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to score. Yeah. And that's another thing. He got so much confidence, I think, last season.
Yes, with his actual
and
play.
The guy we're going to talk about next with his play and his ability. And he was also relied upon to be, a defense at some points in the last season. So that's cool that he's someone that can be called on, and I think that he's just a trusted guy on the team.
Yeah, he's smart, and like Janae was saying, his play has developed, so it's not just, he's the guy to go out there and just punch someone in the face. He is a very skilled player. He will take the shots. He works from anywhere on the ice, and he was playing defense for some time, so I think that helps show his mental ability to switch it up.
Yeah.
And play different roles as he's needed, and just like Tyler Spezia, who was the last guy that was re-signed. He's got an incredible story, super cool dude, has worked tooth and nail to get to where he's at.
Yeah.
And he's very similar, I think, to Shine. I feel like I kind of pair them together a lot.
Yeah.
Spezia is incredibly fast.
Yeah.
That kid, I don't think there's anyone faster on the team. So I'm excited to see drills at camp and stuff just to see how much he's progressed. But he also has been relied on to be a defenseman as a forward. So in those situations, it's not something he was expecting, but he took it, he played well, and I think his game has definitely been stepped up to the next level since the last 3 seasons.
100%. Tyler Spezia. And the thing about last season, it was hard, of course, not making the playoffs. It was hard because I feel like development was just a roller coaster.
Yeah, I feel like it really just hit the brakes.
It was insane, but last season was a big one for Shine and Spezia, and I'm glad that they got that opportunity because I think they showcased how important to the team they really are and how they need to be kept and how we need to keep them forever somehow.
Sign them for all eternity.
Because, Tyler Spezia, his game just catapulted. Like, on the ice, there's those guys that you're like, all right, he's going to score. He's buzzing. Like, he's around that net. He's going to get there. Happen. And I can't tell you how many times Shine and Spezia gave me that feeling like, oh, they're going to do something. Like, those two are out there, they're going to do something. Or that one's out there. And I think that's, clearly, we're very excited.
They're little lightning bolts. As soon as they hit the ice, it's just, I'm trying to think.
Spezia's a little more reserved, I would say, in, like, how he plays, as far as, like, he's just very calm.
Yeah.
I think Shiner, I would say he's more of the lightning bolt type, just kind of like...
Yeah. Spezia's speed makes him fast.
And
Spezia
also doesn't back down.
No.
So that's great, too, and that's kind of surprising just
Remember that one hit where Spezia got hit really bad, and then Shine came from the other side of the ice and wailed on the guy really bad? Worth it.
I mean, that's happened a few times.
Worth it, yeah.
So all this tied together, that was all kind of a lot, probably, so sorry. But how we always bring this back to prospects is the fact that all of these guys play a role in the development of prospects. It's not just the coaching. It's not just, like, the nutrition they learn and, like, how to live on your own and how to be in America if they're, like, coming from Europe and, how to handle the amount of games you're playing. It's who you're playing around. And who you're playing around, they can make you better or worse. They can catapult you to do more, or they can just hold you back if they're sour or if they just don't have anything to offer. These guys are not like that. These guys are going to give the prospects so much to learn, and they're really gonna glean from them, I think. These guys are great.
That's a good word for it, because the veterans are there, and I think in my head in the AHL, many of these guys, much like Lashoff, he's not going back to the NHL for good. I think for him, it's not like, oh, that dream is over. He's accepted his role, and it's a role he cherishes and values, and the players coming in are going to benefit from that, because he knows his place and he knows what he needs to do to get these guys to the next level. The level that maybe, it's out of reach for him, but he wants it to be achieved for someone else. And I think that's something, he'll set that bar really high, and these players will have to come behind and meet that or exceed that. And that's what you want as a leadership vet core. You want the players coming in, you're fighting for similar spots, but you also want to set that standard and set that bar where these kids have something to shoot for.
Well, and also
an obvious goal.
If you're the right type of player, it's going to be fire for you to do better too.
Yeah.
And I think that all these guys are that type of player to where most of these guys are that type of player to where it's going to be fire for them just to do even better. Like, well, this prospect's doing this. Well, I don't care where he came from. I don't care when he was drafted. I'm going to play 10 times harder and get that spot instead.
Right, because they're all still competitive at heart. And with all of this, it is going to be shifting the team chemistry. We have...
every season.
Yeah, every season. It seems like this season, too, it's like just a giant Band-Aid, and we're like, ouch, that hurt. But it's really exciting to look at the prospects we talked about last week, all of the young, highly skilled players coming through, and how that's going to energize the team. It's going to be a much younger team than we've had in recent years.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how that plays out, but also how the locker room chemistry changes because of that, where like Lashoff in leadership, they kind of set the tone. But as these young guys come in, you're going to be able to see the shift actually play out on the ice.
Yeah. So we had wanted to talk about goaltending in this video, but I think we're going to move it to another video just because I think we're going to go into a lot of it. And I kind of want to look deeper into it than we were going to in this video. So keep an eye out for goaltending videos coming up, as well as talking about like guys that we've had like Sabrango, talking about what they need to do this season. We will touch on a little bit of the Red Wings roster, of course, and what that's going to look like and where we think that's going to go. And there's so much to go over.
We should dedicate a whole
so much
video
to unpack here.
Yes. Oh, that's a good way to.
All the pastors in the room are. We're unpacking.
We're unpacking this. It's deep.
Yeah. So basically, these are some of the guys that we're always excited about. Some of the vets that are really important to the development of a team, and I think some of the guys that are heavily relied upon by coaching staff to come alongside the young guys and build them up. Those coaches aren't with them all the time on the road. Well, they are, but like.
Not
in the locker room, and at the same time, it can be like just based on you're closer in age, you're closer in situation,
life circumstances.
You might want to talk to your buddy more than the coach. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they're really helpful for all that, and I hope the best for all these guys. I'd love them all to be NHL, but sometimes it just doesn't go that way. But we're happy that they're with us for the time. Leave in the comments below who you're most excited to see come back this year in the vet pool. And talk about also the free agent signings if you are really excited about anybody that we've gotten so far. Thanks again so much for watching and listening to us just
pour
on you a bunch of words.
Come the season, you'll be thankful you listened to us.
Yes, that's right.
Just be watching.
We're so good.
It's going to be a good year, I think.
It'll be a lot of fun, if not great. So, so let us know in the comments below what you're thinking about the coming season. Thank you so much again for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.